Dan, what are you doing?
Hey Jen, I'm just booking my flight to Tengah.
What do you mean? It's a military airbase.
Oh, so no commercial planes then?
No.
Damn, I was about to claim some miles. Tengah, is it as ulu as people think it is? Today we dive deep to explore this hidden gem, or is it just another quiet corner in Singapore? Welcome everybody and welcome to another episode of Rise and Shine. My name is Daniel George and today we have a very special guest just for you. Her name is Janelle. Janelle, can you go ahead and introduce yourself please?
Hi everybody, I'm Janelle and I'm also part of Rise. Very excited to be here today.
Thank you, Jen, for coming here and joining us today. So today's episode, like I said earlier, we're going to discuss Tengah. And the reason why we invited you over is because Janelle here is a very proud resident of Tengah. So who other than Janelle to talk to us and debunk all the myths we keep hearing about Tengah being very ulu. So yeah, for me, the only thing I know about Tengah is Tengah Air Base. Because I'm also part of the Air Force and that's where I do my reservists, so I only know Tengah Air Base. But I'm excited to know more, so maybe you can share a bit more about Tengah with us.
So Tengah is actually a town of about 700 hectares, roughly the size of Bishan. It is expected to house about 42,000 homes. And well, HDB actually envisioned Tengah to be a forest town with like green, sustainable and smart features.
Oh, like Avatar. Everywhere I read, people talk about forest town and they're like, oh, Tengah is the new Avatar.
Oh, actually, so I think I want to touch a bit on where it's located as well. So it is bounded by Choa Chu Kang, Jurong East and Bukit Batok. Yeah.
Tengah is on the west side of Singapore. It's really far away, but there are a bunch of BTOs that are already completed, right? TOP. So people have moved in. So okay, for example, you live in Tengah right now, right? And you were late today, so how accessible is it for residents? Like for you, for instance, if you want to go to the mall, if you want to come to work, how easy is it for you?
Okay, actually last June, there's this new mall called Plantation Plaza that opened in the Plantation district of Tengah, which is where my home is also at.
Okay.
So the mall itself has a lot of amenities that can provide daily necessities.
Okay, so let's say from your home to the mall, do you walk?
It's just like 2-3 minutes walk.
Oh, so near.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very convenient.
So my estate is actually just right next to the new Jurong Region line.
Okay.
And then after you cross the MRT station, that is where the Plantation Plaza is at.
Okay, and when did the mall open again?
June last year.
Oh, in June last year. Okay, so how about other blocks? Like, are there other blocks that are maybe much further away that they would require to take the bus or walk maybe 20 minutes?
Actually, not really, because the Plantation Plaza is quite in the middle of the entire Plantation district.
Okay.
Unless we are looking at the later BTOs that are to be coming up, I think in 2027. It is further down, nearer to where the junction of where PIE is at.
Okay.
Yeah, so from there, I think people will have to take one MRT station to the Plantation Plaza.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's actually very convenient.
Yes.
Does this mall have everything you need and are looking for?
They have the essentials like Giant, Kofu,
okay,
McDonald's, Daiso.
McDonald's. That's all I need to know.
They have a clinic, furniture shops, that sort of thing.
Okay, you mentioned 2027 the new BTOs will be ready, but also I think in 2027 the Jurong Region line will be open.
The first phase, yeah.
The first phase. So I guess maybe it'll be easier then, since even though they're further away, maybe it's with the opening of the MRT, it'll be a bit more convenient for them.
Yeah, actually in terms of like transportation currently, actually Tengah is quite central as the name suggests. So there are buses currently within Tengah itself that goes to Bukit Batok, Bukit Gombak, and Jurong East. and Beauty World MRT station.
Okay.
So, and if you go out to the main road on Bukit Batok Road, there's buses to Bukit Panjang, to Jurong Chinese Garden MRT station. Yeah. And also there's a bus that goes up to the Woodlands checkpoint.
Okay, that's convenient.
In terms of like transportation wise, it's still it's quite manageable.
Okay, just don't forget to bring your passport if you're going to Woodlands checkpoint. Not to Tengah because you don't need it to go to Tengah. I was looking at the new Jurong region line. Actually, it looks so exciting. Like, it looks like a map of a theme park. But I really think there's so much potential here. And the accessibility is going to be really amazing. Like NTU, Choa Chu Kang, Boon Lay, Jurong East. Like, so even if you're in Tengah and you want to go towards town, you can take a direct line to like Jurong East and then change to the north-south line and hit to the city, or like even to the green line for east-west. So I think it's actually really exciting, and there's so much potential here, and there's like big things gonna happen. Oh, speaking of, also you mentioned walking on the roads. So I think Tengah is the pioneer to adopt this pedestrianization culture. I think where I heard they have everything, vehicles at least underground. So maybe you can talk to us more about this new concept.
Okay, so actually the idea of that is because Tengah is actually a car light town district.
Yes.
Yeah, so
not light beer, but car light.
Car light.
0 calories and 0 vehicles.
Yeah, so the town center is actually car free.
Okay.
They are building the infrastructures all on like second and third level.
Okay. Yeah. So is that like a hindrance, would you say? Like, or are people like embracing this, or do they feel like it's unnecessary?
I do think that it is something that the residents are anticipating.
Okay, yeah, so as I saw the artist's impression of how it will look, it actually looks really cool and futuristic. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. There's another thing I heard about, which is they are making Tengah into a smart town. Maybe you can share with us a little bit more about this smart town concept. Okay,
so there are some smart technologies like the centralized cooling system. So it's an energy saving alternative to the conventional air cons. Yeah, and then also we have the car light town, and there will be dedicated cycling networks that will link up to the larger cycling network of Singapore. And then I think another cool thing is that our street lamps are usually dim until somebody walks by.
Right.
So it's like more energy saving.
That's great.
Yeah, and I think Singapore, the government is actually trying to adopt this energy saving light street lamps to more towns in Singapore.
Okay, speaking of these green initiatives, that reminds me about another town in Singapore that was brand new back in the day, and now it's a huge and highly sought after town. We're talking about Punggol. So back in the day, Punggol was like a fishing village, like very ulu place. Nobody wanted to go there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see, after like 2 decades where it is now, I think there's a lot of things Tengah could adopt. You think from Punggol and what they did?
I mean, okay, so Tengah is actually the next town to be developed after Punggol, and with everything new, I mean, they will take from their past experience, right? So
yes.
I think the progress of Tengah will be much faster and much more straightforward than Punggol. Yeah, because Punggol started off with like a water town concept, and then eventually they moved into the digital district, right?
So I think like I think Punggol, fun fact from what I read online also, that its development was hindered by the Asian financial crisis during that time. I don't know if you were born yet. Maybe not.
I was a few years old.
So you were still in school. Yeah, so Oh, wait, what year were you born in?
98.
Oh, okay, around the time of the financial crisis. Okay, yeah, so Punggol was the first initiative I think Singapore wanted to make this new town, to develop it into something great. And now I think, so now Tengah is the next plan. But yeah, I think Punggol, what made it so successful was it developed the waterway, it developed a lot of greenery. It's also connected to Coney Island. So I think a lot of Singaporeans like this idea of healthy living and they like to be around like nature like activities.
Parks,
Yeah, because I think if they go to work, they're already in the city among skyscrapers. So maybe it's nice to have like water to look at, like greenery to exercise and get like fresh air.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these initiatives really help make Punggol where it is today. Yeah, like you mentioned, right? Punggol now is going into the digital space, and they're trying to become the Silicon Valley of Singapore. So with all this like digital concepts and like green concepts and eco-friendly concepts, I think that's what made Punggol, right, so successful. So a lot of people who bought into the BTOs back in the day were to sell it today, you probably double or triple your investment. There's a lot of good choices people made to risk entering into a new township. So I think now Tengah is in that same space where it's brand new. There's not a lot of amenities and like most other neighborhoods have, but it's the risk a lot of people are taking, right?
I think another thing that makes Tengah very attractive is also because it is very near to the second CBD of Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jurong East, there's a lot of transformations over there. Transformations over there. And a lot of developments, plans for the area. So Tengah is just a few maybe 3 to 4 MRT stops away from Jurong East. And yeah, I think a lot of people also wanted to buy into Tengah because of that reason.
That's right. Yeah, you brought up such a good point about Jurong becoming the second CBD of Singapore. With all the developments coming up there, it's going to be quite exciting financial wise for the country. Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of job opportunities and everything. So places like Tengah and all that, Jurong, which is like so connected to each other now or in the future 2027, is going to be super connected, and I think it's going to have like a high demand, especially for employment. People are going to be looking for homes in these areas, right? Yeah, I think it's a good investment, I would say, to go into like Tengah. This is a risk people take, and this is a risk people took in Punggol back in the day, and it surely paid off. So then let's look at Tengah. How long do you think it will take to fully develop into its potential, like how Punggol has?
It might take about maybe 2 decades.
2 decades? But Punggol took 2 decades or something. So don't you think like because Punggol has already, like come to where it is, like Tengah now has all this information, they can learn from them and accelerate at a faster pace?
Yeah, very, very highly likely. But for now, timeline wise, it's very hard to.
Yeah, of course.
Say that they will be done by a certain period.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just picking at your brain. I don't think anyone has the answer for that, but it's just a fun thing to think about and to talk about. Okay, so I have another question for you. So now, let's say now a family moves to Tengah, right? Because they were so inspired by your conversation and how you moved there too. So let's say now a family moves there and they have like a few children, like primary school age. So can they send their kids to school in Tengah, or do they have to send them to schools outside of Tengah?
Okay, currently there's no schools in Tengah yet. The first school will only be ready by 2026, next year.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be called Pioneer Primary School. It's gonna be relocated from Jurong West.
Okay, so it's already a current school just relocating.
Yeah.
So it's Pioneer just primary school, right?
Pioneer Primary. And then also we have Kranji Primary to be relocated from its current site in Choa Chu Kang to Tengah Garden Walk by 2028.
Okay, Kranji Primary School. They're doing this thing again where they move like Kranji to Tengah, or like there's like all these different neighborhood schools in a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
Can they just set up a Tengah primary school?
I'd rather they do that.
I think so
like,
too, right? Exactly.
Okay. And then of course we have the highly anticipated ACS primary. That will be moved to will be in Tengah in 2030.
Okay. So for new families starting out in Tengah, starting a new life there, by 2030 they would have like their children expected to go into primary school. So see, good location, good schools, good amenities. It's the future of Singapore. Oh yeah, so there are a lot of HDBs already in Tengah now, and there are 2 ECs that were previously launched. Maybe you can share a bit more about those ECs also.
Okay, so Copenhagen was the first EC that was launched. It is within 1 kilometer from ACS Primary. I think that's why it was very popular. So it was fully sold actually within a month. And then the second one was Noble Place, launched last November. They also did very well, and yeah, they are like almost, I think 90% now, almost. And there is actually another one coming up at Plantation Close, Parcel B. So it is right next to Noble Place. They do not have ACS Primary radius, 1 kilometer radius, but they are within 1 kilometer from the most oversubscribed school in 2024, which is Princess Elizabeth Primary.
Very nice. So yeah, it's going to be really packed then with like HDBs, executive condos. So I'm quite excited for the future of Tengah. I think it's a bit of like a diamond in the rough that is going to be polished and going to be an amazing township in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so Janelle, do you have anything to add on to our viewers? Maybe anything you'd like to let them know?
For future residents?
For future residents, for current residents, you know, is there anything they should like know or?
There is a lot to expect from the whole town. And I think there are a lot of like complaints about the small little things like the centralized cooling system. Basically, small little, like people like to like pick at all the small little things, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I feel that we just gotta be patient, and I do think that they've been really doing a good job at developing this town. Yeah, I think just maybe be patient a bit. I mean, it's a new project after all. There will always be like
small things that need to be worked on still. It's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Alright, so with that, we've come to the end of our episode. Thank you, Janelle, for joining us and sharing your debunking all the myths we keep hearing about Tengah and how you need a passport to get there. So I don't need to book my flight, right? Because thank you so much. Until the next episode, my name is Daniel George, and we'll leave our contact numbers below. And
I'm Janelle.
Alright, thank you, and see you guys until the next episode. Bye.
Bye.